I don't like Vikkstar. Chili time. I don't like Vic.
So recently the Sidemen have been coming under fire for their brand new newest Sidemen Sunday. The video's Sidemen Forfeit Christmas Cook-Off has been gaining quite a bit of substantial backlash. Now if you're unfamiliar with KSI and all the Sidemen, backlash for Sidemen Sundays and their content is pretty normal. Especially for people like KSI who end up doing a lot of controversial things, saying a lot of controversial things, and doing a lot of controversial things. But usually if they get hate on their Sidemen Sundays, the weekly piece of content that they release, it's usually directed towards either Ethan, Behzinga, or Miniminter. And usually the hate towards these two is very unsubstantiated, right? It's just unnecessary, they haven't done anything wrong, it's people hating for the sake of hating, because the Sidemen audience, for whatever reason, just really don't like these two, and will just take any chance to kind of hate on them. And like, genuinely, it's pathetic. People will hate on them for like making a joke about like KSI, or, you know, one of the more favorited Sidemen. It's like really pathetic stuff. This is something that both Behzinga and Miniminter have spoke about quite a lot, because it just seems like there's a very small minority of toxic fans that are very vocal about their dislike towards these two.
I am, along with Simon now, the most hated Sidemen. Me and Simon are getting it at the minute. I'm on a bad streak at the minute with these lot. The last month of my life, Sidemen related, has been nothing but depression.
Like, I don't know, it's really weird with Sidemen fans. Like, 90% of Sidemen fans are great, and all my interactions with Sidemen fans have been great on Twitter and other places where I've been heavily critical of people like KSI. And then there's this minority that just seem really obsessed with Behzinga and Simon and their partners respectively. Like, it's just kind of gross, toxic, and just over the top, because these people aren't doing anything that's really bad whatsoever, right? You might just disagree with something they've said to somebody, or didn't really find the joke funny, and they get berated. Like, I feel bad for these people. And this is the exact same thing that has happened with this latest Sidemen Sunday, but just, I feel like it's on a pretty bigger scale here. So to set the scene, in this Christmas cook-off, everybody's on teams, right? They're trying to create the best Christmas meal for some, you know, YouTube judges. So of course there's going to be rivalry between the two teams, you know, they're going to get fed up and angry, you know, the usual stuff. They're going to get angry at the host of the video, which is Vikkstar, and Ethan did as well, right? It was just this narrative that was being created, you know, to make a good video, right? That's what it was a pretty decent video. But for whatever reason, the majority of this Sidemen audience, or at least the ones that are commenting on this video, have come out in droves and just shitting on everybody bar like Harry. Like, genuinely, if you go on TikTok, Twitter, or just in the YouTube comments section of that video and type Sidemen Sunday, all of the comments, replies, and posts about this said Sidemen Sunday are just incredibly negative, shitting on everyone aside from Harry and maybe like Tobi. But genuinely, when you look at the comments of that Sidemen Sunday video and just scroll down, every single comment is a negative one. A negative one about Ethan, a negative one about the video, and how they quote-unquote treated Vikkstar in the video, which by the way was just friends having fun and getting annoyed at each other because it's a cook-off. You know, there's rivalry there. A lot of the comments were also, of course, directed at Ethan. Like, Ethan was the main person they were directing him at, because, you know, apparently Ethan really doesn't like Vic, because, you know, he said some comments about Vikkstar in the video, because, you know, that was the narrative that was created for that said video. That's what YouTubers do. They create a narrative, they run with it because it makes for good content. And that's clearly what they were doing in the video. Like, clearly, they were trying to push these two to have some kind of rivalry, you know, have a couple of jokes made at each other's expenses, right? They were trying to do it for, you know, the video's sake. And a lot of the comments are also trying to claim that everybody bar like Harry and Vic just don't seem like they want to be there, apparently because it's Vikkstar's video. Like, not only is this one said in the video and you couldn't even infer that, the only thing kind of similar to that is Ethan saying like, oh, I'm just gonna go home, right? Sack it off. And he's clearly joking around, right? He doesn't then just leave. He keeps staying for the video and keeps trying and cooking and stuff. So I really don't get where this narrative comes from. It just seems kind of unnecessary to, you know, berate and bully these content creators because, you know, they made fun of your favorite content creator in their video because they're mates. But I thought it would be fun to read some of these ludicrous comments going over this like it's the next big paedophile allegations. Like, genuinely, you really would have thought that something horrific's happened in this video, but it just hasn't. I feel like whenever Vic is host, no one actually takes it seriously. It hurts me. It bloody hurts you. Because Vic tries so hard in other videos, especially the cheap versus expensive ones, when he's been on the bad team like 5 times in a row. He puts in the effort and tries to make the most of it. I mean, I can tell everybody, right, for people that maybe aren't familiar with the content, is that Vic also complains. Like this is just a thing, right? It's fun for content when somebody is annoyed and complains, right? It's good. For me, looking into this, like, I'm no Sidemen fan. Like, I'll watch the occasional video if it, like, piques my interest, like a cook-off. Like, I like that type of content. But, like, from the content that I've seen, you know, they're just trying to create narratives because that's what they do, and I don't think a lot of the Sidemen audience quite grasp that idea. I think there is like a larger amount that do, but then this large vocal minority just really don't understand that they are making content. In the first 5 minutes, it felt like nobody but Harry wanted to be there, or at least he tried to be positive, where everyone else was like, I can't be arsed. A couple of minutes in, and I've had like 4 people say they quit / don't want to try. Why would I keep watching Lamau? Genuinely, from the way people were wording this whole situation, you would genuinely think something bad's happened, right? Maybe KSI slipped out another slur again, right? Maybe that was the one time where the comments could actually genuinely criticize something here. But this just isn't the case. They would say this in the video, and then they'd just move on, and they would actually do the video. Like, the video was nearly 2 hours long. It's not like they all went. People that are familiar with me and my channel, you know that I would happily critique this video if there was anything worthy critiquing, right? Especially because KSI's in it, right? I like the guy. I would happily critique it, but there is nothing here that is worthy of critique. It just kind of seems like fans overreacting and fans just not getting what they want. It's genuinely weird with the Sidemen audience. Like, I could not deal with a fandom that toxic. Like, 50% of them are great, but then you've got, like, this other 50% of just that. Well, I've got to say, these next few comments might be my favourite comments I've read on a video in a while. Like, these are just heinous. I've been watching the Sidemen for the past 7 to 8 years, and honestly, this one might have been the saddest video to watch. God, no one died. Like, it was a sad watch. It was a funny video. Like, God, if you other people comment this type of thing, you've got honestly no life. Like, this wasn't sad. It was just a funny video. Like, get over it. The way Vic was treated in this video is absurd. Big up Vic for not letting himself down and going on with the boys. This ain't the Ethan we all know, to be honest. Maybe he was going along because he knows it's a joke. This is just the type of humor they have. Right, like, I don't get it. I'm not even a big Sidemen fan, and I even know that. Most of the Sidemen gave it up in the video within the first 5 minutes, being rude and uncaring. They then laughed at how Vic's videos are not working. Vic, even when on a bad team, always tries to cheer everyone up and lift their spirits. I mean, everyone does. Like, this comment could literally apply to every single one of the Sidemen. You could literally switch out their names and it would make no difference. It just seems like people are commenting this because their favourite YouTuber or favourite Sidemen, this is so cringe, right? Or whatever you want to say, got, like, shat on a little bit in this video, right? Maybe they didn't like the banter. But these people are friends. Like, why are you inserting yourself in this situation when there just doesn't need to be any conversation had here? The fact I can make a whole ass video about this situation is just honestly pathetic. I mean, it's great for me, but pathetic for them. I've seen a lot of Vic supporters in the comments, and it's justified. People have seen Vic being abused. It's not like some Daddy 05 situation where he's mentally tormenting his kids and like hitting them, right? They're just friends having a laugh. He did the same back to them, but you're not going to say he's abusing them, are you? It's just stupid. People have seen Vic being abused for no cause, which is why they're speaking up. This video was the last straw. Watch them act if it was nothing but banter like they always do. It's not just banter when it happens all the time. I mean, how do you know this? Like, you're not in their inner circle, they're friends. You don't know how they work, right? Like, this is stupid. Like, they're not bullying the guy. It's pathetic. It's not just banter when it happens all the time. If you have a brain, you understand what I mean. Ethan should stop being insulting to him. Treat others the way you'd like to be treated. Nobody deserves such disdain. I mean, he's not having disdain. They're just friends having jokes and making jokes about each other. They all do it to each other, right? They do it to KSI. They do it to everyone, right? Like, that's just how they are. And I don't get it, right? If everybody else from an outside perspective, right, who aren't Sidemen fans, right, who just see, like, the bare minimum pieces of content, right, can understand that all of the people commenting on this video, right, that are genuinely Sidemen fans, or interact with their content at least, should know this. It's honestly just complaining for the sake of complaining and to stir the pot and put the Sidemen down that they don't really like. It's just pathetic. Well, Behzinga ended up responding to this on Twitter, you know, with like a jokey thing, like saying, I'm sorry, Vikkstar, using like the Grok Twitter AI, and all the replies are just ripping him to shreds. They're just finding anything they can to, you know, rip on him. It's kind of just sad. Like, honestly, nobody here has done anything wrong. There's nothing worth critiquing, alright? Like, there's just nothing here. The people that need to be critiqued are these weird, toxic, obsessed fans that are doing this whole thing where it gets to this outrageous extent where people actually have to start responding. Like, I don't know, this just seems all unnecessary and really, really pathetic. But everybody watching, if you're a Sidemen fan, comment down below, what do you think about all this? And while you're down there, you might as well subscribe. But I've been your host, Samuel, and I will catch you in the next YouTube video.